Yo, yo, yo. Tuesday night post Super Bowl, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Where else would you be but the Dynasty Daddy trade show? And it's officially the offseason. I guess you could consider the fantasy offseason after when the fantasy playoffs end. But any Super Bowl reactions? The Kenneth Walker redemption arc, MVP?
Yeah,
Anything?
I mean, all I gotta say, top 5 Super Bowl of my lifetime, right? It's right up there, 28-3, phenomenal. It's about what we expected, I think. In that the Patriots haven't really played a complete team on both sides of the field. And the schedule, the people that kept saying Drake, the schedule may, kind of true. Now, there's a lot of, you can point a lot of fingers on issues that went wrong. I do think ultimately what won the game was the defense suffocating Drake May. And honestly, I'll give shout outs to Dixon, the punter as well, just pinning him deep every single time. There's not much you can do when you're going up against a top defense. Your offensive line's already banged up, and Drake May is trying to do his best Darnold on the Jets impression. So to me, I'm not going to overreact from a dynasty perspective, from a fantasy perspective, but I do think it's something of like, okay, Drake May is still progressing. It's not, but he's not there yet. He's not a finished product yet. It's kind of, and like maybe this will be the like LeBron on the Cavs against the Spurs, and he just gets swept the first time, and it's like, well, that team didn't really deserve to be there. But maybe, May and Vrabel can piece together a team that can come together. But I mean, I think there's a lot of weird things all around that the Patriots still need to address. And it'll be interesting next year because they'll have the first in the AFC schedule. They'll actually be tested and really have to, earn a lot more of their wins than playing the Carolina Panthers and teams like that every week.
Yeah. I don't want to get too carried away. I mean, I think Drake May. I mean, he might still be up there pushing the 101 on Dynasty Daddy, KeepTradeCut. I know. I guess Josh Allen. Josh Allen was still holding it down, but I mean, he'll be a mainstay of the first round of startups. I don't think there's anything that's too drastic of a change from freaking out over. I don't want to say just one game because he was pretty rough in the playoffs overall, but I think over the full regular season and expectations for the Patriots next year, potentially adding. I don't think anyone would be surprised if they address the receiver position in some capacity. Obviously offensive line as well, if that's moving around Campbell. But we have a trade question in here. That's what we're here for. What is up, Kyle? Kraft in the 108 and the 203, or Laporta and the 105. I do like that 105. And I do like Kraft, both players coming off of injury, but I think you're a little bit more spooked about the Kraft. I don't know. I don't want to just be Lions bias, but I think I'm going to go Laporta, mainly with the pick discrepancy with the 105 and 108. Like, I still think there'll be some interesting players to take shots on, especially depending on the tight end premium. But to me, the 105 kind of falls into that. I could be getting one of those receivers, or, worst case Mendoza in Superflex League.
Yeah, I mean, not to echo the humble genius himself, Will, but what I see here is the 108 and 203. While they are desirable pieces, you're looking at players like Trey Harris type players, where it's like there's some upside, but you might get the Jaden Higgins. You're not going to feel amazing about those prospects. If I can get the healthier tight end, because the Laporta Kraft side is kind of a wash. Can I take the 108 and 203 and move up to the 105? I would certainly do that because you're locking yourself into a Mendoza, Love, or one of the top 3 wide receivers.
Keep you up, and I'm gonna share the screen real quick. It's a 2-time tight end premium, which I kind of took as like a full point, like it's 2x the normal PPR reception. I mean, I might just be a homer, but I probably have, especially in that kind of tight end premium. I think Laporta, I'm not going to say a similar upside to Kraft, just what we saw this last season, but I think in a PPR league, kind of in that range of that secondary group of tight ends. and not coming off of as worse of an injury. I'm going to share the screen real quick.
You also got you got the Cardinals coordinator, right? What's his name?
Drew Petzing? Yes. And I'm not
I was like Spetsic. I was like, that doesn't sound right.
I need to bail you out quicker from that because I also need bailing out from similar situations. So that's on me. I should have been quicker.
I have to learn the new names. Sorry for the Arizona crowd. I did not know.
I do think the changes too, especially to like coordinators people don't like. This I'm going to post the link to join this mock. This would be the first offseason mock. If you want to jump in, throw some picks in. I think worst case scenario, we can kind of run through, even if it's just the like first round or two, and kind of be more in depth about the picks. If there's nobody here, if the post Super Bowl hangover continued into the Dynasty Daddy stream, let me post it in the chat.
I'll give a shout out to Dynasty Jake, the pregame crew.
Heck yeah. And I also know how to pin messages. So I just did that. Let's go. Look at us. Year 2.
This is a big production here.
Coming in hot. But no, we were talking about it. I know, starting the off season, I know Dynasty gamers, I think there tends to be a little bit of a lull, in most leagues post end of the fantasy playoffs into, I think like Combine probably hits where there's max interest in incoming rookies. Yeah.
The first week of March is when people really start getting back into it.
But Dynasty never sleeps, man. Dynasty never sleeps. So worst case we can roll through this, but we'll give some time if people want to hop in. Let's go. I see Alpha Male in here. And then if you want to, the one name inspired me. I think I was going to be a little bit lackluster about the follow up. If you want to throw it in the Discord in some capacity, if you haven't already, feel free to go ahead and do that. I think news wise, while you're doing that, the biggest thing I wanted to touch on, the Kubiak thing we had mentioned last show. It sounded like that was pretty probable, and he I was going to say all but confirmed it, but definitely just did overall confirm it. Yo, what's up, Sean? Get in the mock draft. If you're not already, the first offseason mock. We've got rookies in here as well. How bad are they? The overall rank is pretty rough for a lot of these, because I wonder if a lot of like the skewed rookie ADP is kind of mixed in with the Dynasty 2 QB. But this is probably the biggest news piece. And I think specifically because Njoku had just been so adamant about wanting to stay in Cleveland up until pretty recently. Like there were literal interviews of him screaming, not like in a negative way, but in kind of a funny way. Like, I'm staying in Cleveland. I want to stay here. But obviously, going to test the free agent waters. Any big movement for you for Njoku and or Fannin, who I think is kind of in that. Wow, tight end 5. So ahead of Kraft, Laporta, Pitts, Gadsden, right behind Warren, Loveland.
Where Fannin is?
Yeah.
People love Fannin, and I understand why. And you look at the names, and it's like I could probably make an argument for Harold Fannin up to 4.
I think
what's the difference between Tyler Warren and Harold Fannin?
Yeah, the type of upside too that Fannin offers, especially in tight end premium leagues, we'll see offensive switches, quarterback switches. There's some sketchiness. I actually do want to talk about this, Sean. This just might just be the start of the offseason startup conversation, because I do want to talk about third round reversal too. We can talk through that, but I think the type of upside Fannin offers, where we were just straight up seeing, maybe it's the talent around, and if we see Tate taken in the first round, and what the quarterback position looks like, but just the pure insane tight end premium PPR upside that Fannin offers as literally a slot receiver playing the tight end position.
I personally, I think my take here is that Njoku is probably the biggest winner.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Both Fanning and Njoku were kind of a mess.
Yeah.
with both of them, right? It's like both are kind of usable, but you kind of know Harold Fant is the guy long term. I'm excited to see where Njoku can go because his role could totally be used in probably 20 other teams in the league that don't have a true, pass reception type tight end that can actually be a threat downfield.
Yeah. And we'll see. I mean, they're pretty, obviously with how the quarterback draft is looking like it's going to look like they're a pretty popular team to take one of those receivers just because they're, pretty popularly mocked up there at the first half of the first round. Man, one more spot. Who wants it? Team 3. I did add it to the third round reversal. I wanted to talk about it a little bit. I've been a pretty adamant third round reversal guy with the like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson starts, and then like Jaden Daniels being added to the mix last year, my perceptions. I was even more adamant about it, but I feel like I'm going to like a lot of my teams that I kind of build on the tail end of the first and hit receiver. Just with the way that we talked about handling the quarterback position. So we can keep third round reversal. I do kind of want to see what it ends up looking like, but one more. Njoku has to stay healthy. Dude, I'm a big Njoku guy.
I'm impressed to filled up this quick. I'll be honest.
Me too.
I thought some of the people would be like, hey, it's post Super Bowl.
Yeah.
All my Drake May shares are a little less valuable now. Like maybe I'll just unplug for a month.
Let's go, Cam Frost. I'm just clicking start. Action cannot be undone. We got 60-second clock. It is a 12 team. If you guys can see it, I'm going to switch screens real quick. Show the subscriber count, not Jeremy, for a second. 12 by 10. 10 starters. It is super flex, full point, 10 and premium, and Jeremy's back, just like that.
Yeah, I mean, I will say to Jeffrey's point, a big part is going to always be older players. Can they stay healthy? Year 8, I think you're going to have to expect Bacon a couple weeks that he's certainly going to be out. But, it's one of those things. I mean, we thought Stafford couldn't be healthy, and he put together a completely healthy season, was a fantastic fantasy option. So I think he's just someone that I'm glad that there's not two mouths to feed on in the tight end room
100%.
in Cleveland. I'm like, let's get another, he can go somewhere else and at least, be a valuable piece versus he's in the shadow of Fannin.
Yeah, I think it is a positive from the last situation. I don't necessarily think I'm like pumped about Njoku compared to like a few seasons ago or whatever, that like sun run with Flacco. I think he's just kind of hitting that. I don't want to say Zach Ertz.
He's like that Evan Ingram. He's like Evan Ingram on the Jags, like where you're like, oh, he'll silently catch a decent number of passes and be all right. He'll be Dalton Schultz, and you'll be like, okay, like I can't complain.
All right, we can talk the start of this draft. Josh Allen, Drake May. I threw Bijan in the thumbnail for one of the top 4 spots. Oh, you're on the clock.
I am on the clock.
What are you thinking?
Well, I will say we've seen a lot of the top end talent fall off in terms of being consistently elite, especially at wide receiver, but also at quarterback. I look at the quarterbacks. There's Jaden Daniels is probably the only one I'd consider in this range.
Mm-hmm.
I also see Jackson Smith and Jigba. That to me is probably the one that's just jumping out. And I feel like I can probably round out running back in the second and third. So I'm going to just take JSN because currently he's a dynasty wide receiver 1. But I mean, what's the difference between Puka, Chase, JSN? I mean, it's all ice cream. It's all good to eat.
Yeah. We see Jaden Daniels go. This would have been a run to the podium Jaden Daniels pick for me. Although I don't have any qualms with the picks before. I am not a known Burrow lover, and I want to see what the draft looks like.
I was like, I knew what was going on.
The
Detroit.
The JSN thing is so crazy because there's a lot you could point to with the JSN production and actually say like it could get better in terms of like how like the pass rate over expectation for the Seahawks, the target share numbers on like pretty limited passing numbers, but Yeah. The like one game under 60 something receiving yard in the regular season. I don't know if we'll see that.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like, it's like what they said about Amon-Ra St. Brown for years. It's like, yo, he can't repeat those type of years. He can't repeat, like, it's Puka. Oh, it's all based on Stafford. If anyone like, I thought about Amon-Ra. I thought about, Gibbs. Like, I really just want to say a top 5 outcome at wide receiver, running back is someone that I want to invest in, because then this gives me the flexibility to not take the Jalen Waddle types, and I can get a little bit grosser at wide receiver, and because I have a high end pick in JSN, and I can always split JSN for production if he's not living up to it, like Justin Jefferson last year.
Yeah. All right. The turn hits. The both tight ends go with which I'm not surprised. In tight end premium, I thought maybe there's a chance I would get maybe Bowers to fall or McBride. Considerations.
The Bowers over McBride is still. I mean, I know it's like one pick. It is like splitting hairs, but.
All right, the last double RB start that I took did not go well. I was very frustrated with my team. I talked about avoiding the quarterback position, but to me, I am still in on Hurts at the start of the second round. Mm-hmm. I know, I think he's fallen to like, I've seen him go at the end of the second, early third in some startups. I know there's some fear about the AJ Brown stuff, but to me, I just think the rushing upside, touch push upside still. And I'll let you go ahead with your 44 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple options. I feel like right now running back would be a little bit of a reach with Love, JT. Like a lot of the top end locked in guys are kind of gone. QB, I feel like I can probably wait on. There's a big bunch of all these kind of good guys. Tight end, pretty similar. I think it's between a Drake London and CeeDee Lamb here. Can I get one of these guys? I'm just going to go CeeDee Lamb. I feel like that offense is one I trust more to pass the ball and have a efficient offense, and their defense has issues that CeeDee Lamb's going to probably have to score. And the biggest issue with CeeDee Lamb last year is he got injured on that jet sweep. So
yeah, I also like your start, Sean, the McBride Achane. Do you have any fears? Any Achane fears? Not like I would take Jeremiah Love over Achane at this point from what we've seen, but just with the, I think I would say coaching uncertainty alongside the QB situation. Like, not that I think things can't be better than Tua, but I do get a little spooked when it's the uncertainty at the quarterback spot with a bad class.
Yeah, it's also hard because like the situation change is just such. That's something that's like you can't really quantify. You can be like, okay, I kind of know what the Cowboys' offense will look like. I kind of know what Joe Burrow's offense will look like. I know what McBride will somewhat do, even though his situation has changed. But it's hard with running backs. Running backs are impacted by situational changes a lot.
Yeah. Are you confident enough in like the Jeremiah Love upside that you would take him over Genty with the Kubiak hire and Mendoza, all but certain 101?
I will say from like a trade perspective, I'll just give me anyone with the plus. But from if I'm in a startup draft and I have to make the pick, I'm probably just going Love, because there's the situation of he just absolutely goes crazy right out of the gate and is in a completely different stratosphere, especially if he gets one of those good landing spots like the Chiefs.
Speaking of this, we see a running back run here. Genty, Hampton, Cook, obviously Love at the 207 there. Jonah Coleman. This is how you know the rookie ranks were screwed. I know it was looking kind of odd early
Jonah
on.
Coleman out
in between. Maybe not in between Trey and Henderson.
Coleman or Christian McCaffrey. Well.
Yeah. So some of these are. I mean, obviously the receivers are pushed up too. I mean, Mekhi Lemon. Oh, we do get the third round reversal.
Yeah, Lemon or Nico Collins.
CMC, dude. I will say Riddles. Say what you will about the age, man. When it's week 7 and I'm running into the Josh Allen CMC team, I am not feeling good.
Now Josh Allen CMC are like the two players that can just have that one game that ruins the entire week.
Now with the tight end running back start, you still get some decent QB options. Like I do still like Justin Herbert, Caleb Williams. We'll see. Dude, I wanted to test out my QB theory, but I'm so high on Williams and Herbert that we'll see. We'll see how spooked off it I get.
I'm trying to get gross with the quarterbacks. Oh, that's what I'm trying.
We have some intel.
A little trial
That the 101 and the 212 was not aware of the third reversal. I did sneak it in after Sean's comment. I was going to do a little colloquial. That's not the word. I was going to do a little conversation. Ooh, Chris Olave. I like Olave. Do you like Olave more than? I mean, fantasy production wise, he's better than Nico. Pretty similar with Pickens this year.
Olave was very underrated in terms of.
We see Mahomes go.
Perception to what his fantasy production was.
Ooh, Herbert goes. All right, my considerations. The QB2 stuff, especially when you start with a running back, you do have to start 3 receivers in this league. So that is like a heavy consideration point in me looking at Caleb Williams versus Nico Collins, for example, where I would much rather have Caleb. Colson Loveland, I think, is in the pick stratosphere for me as well. I'm down to get grosser at RB2, especially after I start like a high end guy. Let me. I'm torn, man. I'm gonna stick with my. I'm gonna stick with the format. I kind of regret it.
Oh yeah, the format made it, right?
I'm a Nico lover, so I can't be talked off that ledge too hard. But I can't imagine this is the kind of mock draft where QBs are going to fly off the board. So that kind of made me feel better about my decision. Like in a vacuum, somebody sends me a trade and it's like Caleb Williams, Nico Collins. Like most often, I'm finding a way to say Caleb Williams there. But I like this, Sean. This is what I wanted to do. But I just see Jalen. I see Jalen Hurts at the 204, and I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think that Jalen Hurts at the 204. Like if he was there if I had the 204 and Jalen Hurts was there, I'd probably take him.
Ooh,
but I do agree. It's like I just force myself to not take quarterback. I assume I'll be able to build out some sort of platoon at quarterback, especially with JSN and CD Lamb. Both of their quarterbacks are rather cheap from a dynasty value side.
Mm-hmm.
That can probably pick up a Sam Darnold and get, or a Dak and at least get a stack there as well.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing
no one sniped me. No one sniped me on that.
Yeah. The only thing with pushing quarterback at this range, and I kind of want to be this tight and in depth about it, looking at startups because I know everyone's about to be in them. But I mean, we see Lemon go at the 307. I don't know how. I can't imagine at this point he would go that high in this range. It's also kind of interesting, like Lamar. Jeremiah loved Lemon, but I think you would argue that Lamar's trade value carries enough weight that it doesn't really matter, that 106 pick compared with what else you do in the draft. Sorry, what I was gonna say is, Sean, I love your start. How comfortable are you willing to get with that QB2 spot? Because there are some names. Obviously, Stafford staying for another season. But like as soon as you get to this, honestly, as soon as you get to Stafford, right, you're already on Penix, Daniel Jones, JJ. There's like the Malik Willis darts you can take, but I think it is going to be interesting what this like 3rd through 5th round range does at the quarterback spot.
I mean, you keep seeing those lots of 3rd round quarterbacks. Still, I mean, Purdy, Caleb, T-Law, Herbert, Mahomes, even with the injury, we don't really know how quickly he'll come back. So it's not like everyone's fading quarterback still.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I do think it has a little bit to do with like the name discrepancy. Like I think people get less excited about the differences between. I mean, there's people that get excited about like Chase Brown upside, but like I think there's already a lot of question marks with like Bucky Even though we got some positive reports on Bucky, I don't know if you saw those. I mean, that's just like the classic coach speak of,
Yeah.
hey, coach, how do you feel about your star running back? Oh, he's great. We can use him in all different kinds of ways. There we see Fannin. Go with the 4-2. This is a full point tight end premium. So I think Loveland
over Warren. Tight end 4.
Yeah. I considered Loveland at my spot, the 3-4. We'll see if Warren goes before Lad the 4-3.
The real question is where will Tunges fall?
True. You got to cash it. I got to cash out for my second round pick. The funniest thing about that is, Tunges is about to have like 6 for 80 in a touchdown week 1. Like 100%. That's happening.
No, he's going to be. I can already forecast the Dynasty like buy sells for week 4. It's going to be sell Tunges because Kittle comes back week 6.
Yeah. Okay, let's. I'm going to do a quick test. How do you feel, Travion Henderson? I do think there is still. I think you can make the same kind of bet you made heading into this season. I do think, just kind of in looking at a lot of Henderson tape, I think there's a lot of like DeAndre Swiftism of just the like running back position feel that is totally separate from his awesome ability to like break free and have the like take it to the crib upside. And I think a lot of that stuff is just like you're a rookie running back in the NFL. I don't know if I would have taken him there. Not even just compared to some of the other running backs. But I mean, you still got these quarterbacks are going, but you still got T-Mac, Rashee Rice.
Figured I should do the Lamb Prescott stack.
Okay, I like it. That's a pretty scary team. JSN, CD, JT, Dak. All right, quarterback.
I know JT was a little slow at the end of the year, but he was RB1. So
I am gonna push quarterback. I do like these receiver names, but I do think Rice is kind of exciting. I think I'm just gonna take Warren. I consider taking Loveland at the 304, and I would at this point rather have Loveland than Warren, but I'm still excited about Warren's upside.
It was between Loveland and Taylor for me at the 306. I almost took Loveland.
The war in a full point 10 and premium league. I mean, I think there's some tight ends to get excited about. And you could argue it's pretty deep, but I think Warren is still in that range. Probably with Kraft and with Laporta, that I'm still betting on like elite outcomes, like week winning outcomes at the position. Where you get that full additional point.
It is interesting. So we have Mekhi Lemon and Tate, 3rd round. Tyson, who's been grouped in with those guys, still on the board, almost falling a full round. And that might just be sleeper ADP.
I do think that's how it's ordered.
I do find that interesting because the narrative is, hey, just take any of them. But I do think the injury concerns are something that is kind of spooking some people.
All right, I do want to click on Sean's team real quick. Starting 3 running backs. Tight end.
Running back run is real right now.
Okay, sleeper is we are watching Will versus sleeper right now, and I'm losing. A-Chain, Chase Brown, Breece Hall, Olave, Trey McBride. You take that anchor receiver when you have to start 3. Okay, all right. I mean, this could be a spooky team week 1. You get Chase Brown, no competition, Cincinnati. Breece Hall, Kansas City. Achane has a functioning quarterback. All right, 3 wide receivers here. Jonah Coleman, top running back.
The gross quarterback. Like I'm kicking the can. I don't need no 4th or 5th round quarterback at all. Like I'm just gonna go with Malik Willis and Kyler Murray.
It is kind of interesting too, because I think when it comes back to Sean's pick, and I'm about to be on the clock, so I'm gonna talk about it a little bit. I do think that the locked in for 3 years, you feel confident about contract wise, quarterbacks will go with Mendoza as well. Like Jordan Love, Baker. We'll see about Stroud. But I still think there's some names that I'm still excited about and interested in. All right. So we got the Gibbs, Hurts, Nico, Warren. I kind of like my team competing. I think I'm fine pushing quarterback.
Get a little weird with it.
I'm down to get a little weird. I do think
Jonah Coleman.
504. Let's go. I'm gonna go T. Higgins.
T. Higgins.
I think T. Higgins kind of falls in that. I'd pay the 105, 106 range if I felt like receivers mattered enough on my team.
I was just thinking between what positions are hard to replace. If we look at WAR, running backs have been king through the past 2 years. I'm like, I need Jonathan Taylor. I saw that running back run of Brown, Hall, Irving, Barkley. I was like, I need to at least have 2 kind of modern day workhorses. Yeah. To not have to worry about the 2 running back spots. And I can figure out the flexes and all of that later.
Now, odd
got
that
Mendoza off the board.
Yeah. Now, just odd that you would take the 25-year-old Kyren Williams when you could have had the much younger Jonah Coleman. But, you know,
true.
To each their own.
He could be the next Kyren Williams.
No. Kyren I still do like. And I think a lot of people are down on Kyren just with the Blake Corum split we saw this year. And I do think we'll see a similar split next season as well. But Kyren, you just know. I think Corum will maintain kind of this like 40% split. But even with how down you felt like it was, RB9 this season, we saw in the playoffs as well. He had a couple monster workload games, mixed in with some mixed workload games with Corum as well. But you like the offense. You get Stafford around for another year. He signed the extension. I considered Kyren because I do think we are kind of running out of those hell yeah running back plays, you know. Sadiq.
Well, yeah, now shout out Sean. What was he saying here? It's like you couldn't pass up on 2 potential RB1s. And that's kind of what I was like, I hope I can get one of them. And that run happened, and I knew between Kyren Williams and Josh Jacobs, who probably has 1 more year of that type of production.
Yeah.
I was like, after that, I felt like there was a pretty significant drop in terms of the type of guys they can pick, right? Then you got the Kenneth Walker MVP, Harvey, Scatterbo, Judkins, injured guys, Javonte Williams. Where is he going to play? There's a lot more question marks there.
Yeah. I like these. I mean, no quarterback taken through 5 rounds. It gets a little spooky, but I mean, you get these teams that have taken 2 quarterbacks, and especially in like a mock too. But I think in most drafts, I don't find it as common. Maybe there's 1 or 2 teams that pushes in I like that pick, that pushes in the quarterback position like that. But especially in a real startup where you have the flexibility to move around and be like, I'm coming up to take Tyler Shuck, 7 picks ahead of where I think he'll go in this draft, just to make sure that the rest of my build has a quarterback I feel good about. All right. Ken Walker, Super Bowl MVP.
Premium on this one.
Full point. Do I have to click over to the screen that you're not on? Wait, there you go. I get you on here.
What is it? It's a full PPR?
Full point. What's the pick? I'm gonna wait. There he is. I found him.
Am I a Jameson believer? I don't know. I didn't realize he was wide receiver 10. Dang.
We'll get him, guys. Don't worry.
I mean, the running backs have just started to dry up.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, I'm going to get weird with it. But my take here is that he will still hold value even though he's old. As Derrick Henry.
I mean, it kind of fits the team. I mean, running up against
I can always flip Derrick Henry for next year's Jonah Coleman or whatever. 6 weeks in if I need to liquidate. But if I can get RB1 production, I'm going to do that.
All right, I have Gibbs. The running back is drying up, but I don't love it enough, especially having Gibbs RB1 to take that. Ooh, I do kind of like
Manung guy, man.
If it's there. Jonah Coleman, obviously.
Jonah Coleman is a lock. I'm surprised he fell out of the first round.
Wide receiver is really interesting because I'm like already testing my own like excitements and beliefs about players. Let me take. I'm a JMO guy. I'm fine taking JMO. I like Devonta Smith a lot as well in this range. I think Jalen Waddle's a good pick as well.
It's interesting. The wide receiver 2 for the Cardinals went before the wide receiver 1. Michael Wilson's still on the board.
True. You do have to start 3 wide receivers, but man, when you like start to get to this range, and I'm taking T Higgins at the 5.4 and JMO at the 6.9, and I look at the board and I'm like, I still like Zay Flowers, Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of guys that are just all the
I mean,
same.
even like Sutton, Addison, Devontae Adams down there. Like I won't be able to talk myself out of at some point. So going back in time, I probably regret this Nico pick. And we'll see. I mean, a 6-12 Baker, man. You couldn't talk me out of a 6-12 Baker. With this start, you lock in one of the quarterback positions.
Yeah, I mean this is the advantage of doing the kick it. Because you do just kind of stumble into a Baker, you can get a Stroud, ETN, just load up on the running backs, and you feel pretty comfortable, right? If you look at, you're like, as long as I'm okay with Shuck and Goff, Darnold, or one of those guys, I can probably just keep it going because most teams already have 2 quarterbacks.
The only tough thing though, when we start to push it this far, is I do think in the 7th, 8th round range, when it comes back to Sean, there will be teams that are looking at, yes, it's my QB3, but it's like Tyler Shuck, second season upside. What if this is like a long-term starter that I'm getting versus, this like similar range of receiver? We'll see. Sean is, he's analyzing the words I'm speaking. See how much he believes in it. And he takes it, Baker.
Yeah,
7-1 Baker.
You spooked him.
I was talking enough crap. He wasn't ready for me.
I'm going to take Baker.
I would have happily taken Baker. Stroud gets me a little more sketched. But I might go Goff here with the JMO Gibbs stack. I'm making the Lions bet.
Dynasty Jake was in the draft, Bryce Young would have already been taken.
Where do you realistically have Bryce Young? Is it this? I mean, would you take him ahead of the? It's probably a team build bet taking Stafford versus Bryce, but
yeah,
Casey Concepcion.
It's honestly not like the most exciting piece to take. It's like it's like a wet noodle. Like it's going to be stuck on your roster the entire time.
Yeah. All right, I'm thinking long. I'm thinking hard. I think I'm gonna push RB2 more, and I might honestly give me Kyle Pitts. Give me Pitts. Nice. Re-signing with Stefanski. 7.4 and full point tight end premium. Baker and Zay. Zay was also on my board as well. At that 6'10" spot. Jalen Waddle, the pick right after. I've had a lot of pick right afters. I would have taken Waddle.
I'm on the board.
Oh shoot! All right, what's the Jeremy start looking like? High scoring.
I think I'm going to double tap quarterback before it gets gross and lock in a double stack with Sam Darnold and JSN.
Okay. The nice thing about your start too, with this kind of contender start, is the like exciting contender pieces you could still take. Like you still get Devontae Adams down there at the 109. I'm not going to call it every single one of them, but
yeah, go ahead and call them all out.
there's still like decent tight ends.
To the queue.
Man, is Tyler Warren at the 4.9? Not the move, man. There's tight ends I still like.
I know Will in a mock just loves taking tight ends.
I do, man. It stemmed back.
This is a range for me. Is like you look at the outside of Tyson. I think Tyson fell probably way too far. Like I probably would have taken Tyson like early 4th. Like if the other rookies are going off the board, Tyson could be someone that becomes a top 10 guy. But looking at like Harrison, Adunze, Williams, Smith, like there's a huge range of these kind of all wide receiver 2 through 4s
Fonte, good pick.
that I would much rather not have to rely on, because I feel like if I can just hit on next year's Wayndell Robinson, or try to buy those cheap bargain bin pieces and plug them in for my wide receiver 3 spot,
Yeah.
that's going to be a lot easier than me trying to plug in something for flexing or running back or something like that.
Yep.
Because there's still a lot of names for wide receivers that I feel fine starting in a pinch, right? There's still, a couple decent rookies. You got Denzel Boston, you got Metcalf, Travis Hunter, who knows, Leo Tani, Sutton, Addison, Jacoby Myers, Robinson, Pittman, DJ Moore, QJ. You don't know if they actually have an offensive line. QJ could be good.
Man, I'm still in on Jalen Hurts, but man, when I look at Jalen Hurts at the 2-4, and I think Baker will go in most drafts higher than the 7-1. I pulled it up. I pulled it up on stream. Shout out to me for
just making sure.
Acknowledging. I left it up there too. I didn't even click away. Now I'll click away.
Okay.
No, but when I see Baker,
I don't see what message is highlighted.
and maybe it's a little bit of people being down on Baker off of how the season went towards the tail end for sure. But Baker at the 7-1 versus my Hurts at the 2-4, when like I could be taking Neighbors, CD, Drake London, Genty, one of those running backs, and I take Baker instead of Pitts.
The Gadsden pick hurt. I wanted Gadsden.
Gadsden was one of those names I was kind of eyeing as, man, I wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't feel too bad having one of these as my tight ends in the 6th, 7th, 8th. Man, the rookies, crazy. There goes Shuck, the Shuckster, and this is
quarterback run,
the mini QB run. I think Stafford at the 8-2 was like the big QB run dart.
Yeah, that was like, oh crap! Like, you got to get a guy.
Which, man,
I will say Obi-Wan also does not have. That was his first quarterback in Jared Goff.
That's a great pick. That's like a must pick, especially when you go Harvey there at the 7-9, which I think is a good pick. I think that's a totally fine range to make the Harvey bet. That the workload concerns aren't that spooky. All right, quarterback is interesting. You're really looking at
quarterback's getting desperate here. I'm thinking I just want to build out as much value. Like, what has a potential chance to impact WAR?
Yeah.
Right now, I think Jaylen Warren is still the best bet. Just given running back, he's probably coming back. He's probably locked into a decent workload. He's not a true bell cow, but as a flex, as my 2nd or 3rd flex, that's certainly nothing to complain about.
Yeah. All right, I am on the clock here. We see Kyler go. Really looking at a QB2. I do like Cam Ward still. And I don't think I like any of these running back bets enough to forego just kind of securing having a starting quarterback in the QB2 spot. And I'd rather make the Cam Ward bet than the Bryce bet. I'm sorry to all my Carolina Panthers fans out there. Byron, the SOB. What a pick.
Ouch. There's dozens of us, Jake.
The Kyron believers, man. It's a small tribe that's forming, and maybe it's just the Kyler at ADP believers, where it's like, okay, now that it's not a 3rd or 4th round pick.
Every year is Kyler. Ever since I got into people want to know my opinion on fantasy football. Like, I remember my first roster reviews were like hand typed. So I type like 6 pages.
Dang.
And every time I'd be like, Kyler Murray would be a good buy. Blah, 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 blah. and I feel like every year the price
it was
gets
probably
lower.
true
Like,
every year. He was just under.
Yeah, every year I'm like, it can't just
the QB 14,
just
13 performance.
Be a falling knife. Eventually, you just got to admit he might just be a falling knife. But I do agree. This is as low as it can get, because he is being valued at QB like 40.
Mm-hmm.
And at QB 40, I'll take the upside of he can run and at least get me 18 points a game if he plays.
Yeah. Boston pick. I'm really looking forward to charting Boston.
I think Boston has a very interesting profile. He's kind of like the next range of talent, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. All right, you are Kittle's crew. the RB stud room. Quarterback wise, you do still have Bryce. You have Penix. There's like the darts later, which I don't think I'm not like sniping anyone vocally on Malik Willis. I think everybody that is watching a Dynasty Daddy trade show live stream at 9 p.m. Eastern time knows the upside that Malik Willis has.
On 2 days after the Super Bowl.
Right. This is our Super Bowl.
Just started.
Mock draft. An off-season mock draft is our Super Bowl. Tyler Shuck over Ward is interesting. You guys think he's the long-term answer? I would probably take Shuck over Ward at this point. Long-term answer, I think, is a little bit
rushing upside, though.
That's the big thing, is like the fantasy production being tied to a quarterback. And like we have a live stream ask. We'll rip that after. Let's see. How many rounds should we go? 13?
Yeah, it works.
13 is good.
There we go. Now we have the I'm picking any quarterback that has a narrative. The Baker, Bryce Young.
Well, I just said 12. That's fine.
Keep pounding. Daniel Jones, which I think, he might get a decent deal. It sounds like he's getting extended, which makes sense.
Oh, I'm on the clock. All right, 52 seconds here. I have my flex spot and RB2 slot. Running back, Woody Marks. I think Corum's interesting, but I'm chilling. DK. Jeez, DK, man. Penix is interesting. How much time I got left? 29 seconds. My boy, Travis Hunter. Jacoby. Where's Parker Washington? There's just so many bets I want to make, you know? Juwan Johnson still there. All right, it's the honorary pick. This is for all my
it's officially off-season time. Travis Hunter pick came through.
I feel the need to share in the troubled times that the Travis Hunter believers are going through at this point, because I was a big Travis Hunter believer. I was a 103, 104 rookie draft guy, and I don't have any Travis Hunter shares anymore. I traded him away mid-season, so my bad, guys. All right, you're on the clock.
I'm getting a little spicy here, but this guy,
has
a fan base. People are hyping up Travis or Parker Washington. I think he might be the guy. He might be the that perfect wide receiver 3 that kind of rotate in and out of flex depending on what the bye weeks and injuries look like.
Anyone rewatching the stream or watching right now, Travis Hunter was not the correct pick. I'm not condoning my own actions by taking Travis Hunter over Parker Washington or even Jacoby Myers. But are you Parker Washington over Jacoby? I feel like I have to ask you specifically as the MC boy.
I don't think so. I think it's like, can I get a plus on either of them, to be honest? Like, that's the lame cop-out answer. Yeah. I would probably just say, if I had to choose, I would choose Parker Washington like I did here, because I believe the community believes in him more. Everyone kind of knows what Myers is, but the fact that Washington really started to turn it to another level, and with Liam Cohen at the end of the year, I think when I've had conversations with people, my expectations of how they would value Parker Washington and how they actually value him are way different. So I'm like, wait a minute. Parker Washington honestly might be valued completely differently than how I still perceive him as.
I know Ray's mentioned it before. This is like a pretty wide-winded question. I started thinking about this a little bit when I initially started working at off-season rankings alongside like the rookie prospect stuff. But how valuable do you think, I think Ray's talked about like the likability score and like how people perceive players. Because I think there's almost like there's a ranking whatever, you open up Dynasty Daddy and you're looking at the player rankings page, there's like the number associated and, the value and everything. And then I almost think that there's like a range within that of like movability, like the range of perceptions of that value. And I think it's like so different for every single player.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get that. It's hard to quantify.
Oh,
I think there's a
100%.
couple metrics, right? Like there's this player is rated super high, but like if this player has a bad game, does he fall a ton? Like it's kind of like also like what is his stability? Like people are constantly like, is it Lamar? Where Lamar had a pretty rough second half of the year.
Yeah,
People
I threw it out in my mind.
him as a top 6 pick in Dynasty. Like no one is panicking on Lamar as a fantasy football player. Versus Drake May had a bad postseason, and people now he's still up there. He went to 102, but it's like, what does it take for someone to get that level of insulation? Where it's like they can have a stretch of bad games in front of everyone and not tank their value.
Oh, whoa.
Let's see.
The Skylar Bell.
Skylar Bell is back. Well, I mean, this is gross, but this is kind of how I wanted to build my team. You got the anchor wide receivers. I need some depth here.
Okay.
Give me some guys that could be low end wide receiver ones. I don't necessarily need to hold on to a bunch of roster clogger wide receivers in this range. Like, let me soak up some of the mid wide receiver 2 to 4s that fell in round 5 through round 8.
Yeah, I mean in the 10th round. Why not? All right, these wide receivers, a couple interesting rookies, but I think pretty similar names and ranges. JJ McCarthy, Malik Shador, 22 seconds. I'm leaning into the format a little bit. Give me Juwan Johnson. I actually considered Kittle there. And I try to stop myself and just wonder if it's my own like Kittle cope that I'm working through of if there was ever a player that was going to come back early from injury. It would be
if there's ever a player
has a German stem cell research friend. Wait, who hates their team? All right, this was
who hates their team?
Granted, didn't know that it was a 3rd round reversal and had the 101 pick, but we'll take a look after your next pick here. All right, we're seeing some rookies go off the board. Jaden Higgins. I want to be in on Jaden Higgins. I do. I don't know if I got it in me. I'm just foreseeing the grossest. I just feel like I feel like Tank Dell is going to matter in a way that is just frustrating, where he is just going to like run enough routes alongside Xavier Hutchinson and Woody. Probably later on in this draft, like I would be hammering maybe I still will. All right. Full through running backs I could hit. I would have taken JJ if he came back to me. Michael Pittman, QJ. Give me
kind of like QJ in this range.
I like the QJ bet. I do think that, and you saw me star some names, but I do think, obviously, you weed out these rookies. I do think that this range of running back is interesting enough to take some shots on in like 12 by 10, 12 by 11s, Maybe not for you, like somebody that has JT Kyron, Derrick Henry, Jalen Warren. The like Tyler Algier bats probably don't matter as much to you in the 11th and the 12th, but what are you thinking here?
I'm thinking tight end, given that I kind of shored up that wide receiver 3 spots.
Yeah.
I got some weird names. Do I go with the Kittle and just kind of I'll figure it out later. Travis Kelsey bet of, hey, like if he plays again, like, or do I go with like a Goddard Henry? That's kind of a boring top 8 tight end.
Is the Ferguson end of the season scare you too much?
With who?
I mean, you got the Dak.
With Terrence Ferguson or
Jake Ferguson?
Jake Ferguson.
Wait, this is funny. Are you guys the owners of DD? If you mean Dynasty Daddy, Jeremy, yes, is the how many titles are on your card that you hand to people? Developer, director.
Yeah, it's a developer, the guy people yell at.
The
all
QA.
But yeah, I'm the customer service, the marketing guy. But yeah, no, I do all the website, the coding, all of that stuff that you hopefully enjoy using. That is what I've done. And Will is the helping out with the content, helping bring in some energy, putting together the live streams, putting together the YouTube and the YouTube videos that will be coming soon. We'll be kicking those up again.
Chicken Nugget, the executive assistant as well.
That's true.
And good plug. YouTube stuff, guys. If you are not subscribed, why not? I answer in the chat. Don't just subscribe. Answer. Tell us why. We'll fix it. Then subscribe. We've got the rookie content coming up. I know Sean.
Appreciate it. Forecast card.
Oh heck yeah! It's amazing.
Sean's helping us out here. Hit the like. We forgot to say that.
Sean mentioned
we were just too excited for the startup draft.
True. Sean mentioned, are we gonna do a rookie draft? And obviously Tuesday night, we're gonna start digging into the rookie content on the actual channel that you're subscribed to. And then, we'll be doing a lot of rookie stuff. Last year we did a couple rookie mock drafts with, we'll do some with some landing spots too, where I'll pull on the actual stream itself, where we have the rookies landed based off of, whatever Daniel Jeremiah mock or whatever mock we're looking at that day. And we'll mock off of that. Maybe next week. I don't know. We'll see. But we'll do a handful of those. We'll be all over the rookie content this offseason.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be a lot of mocks, especially in this phase, because there's combine, there's information. Leagues aren't the most active, right?
Yeah.
Like there's not a ton of trades going on until the rookie draft actually happens. So it's a lot of trying to put our finger on the pulse of what is going on with the rookies. How are we feeling about them? And what are we hearing? Because ultimately it's all kind of vibes until you get to the NFL draft. And you're like, okay, this player is a top 20 pick.
Right. Yeah, like we even have ranges too, and maybe it'll be the subject of a video or maybe it's just a stream. Maybe next week I'll task myself with looking back at the initial mocks for last year's draft that were mocked previously heading into the draft, because there are some names that are gonna shock you. All right, last pick.
That was almost like a clickbaity title. I just got to go.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm going with Goddard. Double tap some tight ends that could be gross, but do something.
Pat Bryant, and I'm here at the 12-9, and man, there's a lot of. I mean, we just saw Chris Godwin, Xavier Worthy. Like, these are not receiver bets like the older names. I'm not talking about any of the rookies right now that are like totally worth being on the tail of contending teams, which makes me feel less great about.
Diggs.
Yeah. There's Mike Evans is still there. Pittman. I am going to look at RB2, and I'm going to take.
Tyreek Hill.
I'm not totally out on like the Woody bet or even Charbonnet coming off the injury, but give me Tony Pollard. Give me if I have to plug my ADP riser. I don't know. I don't want it to be Tony Pollard. Don't quote that. Nobody write that down. But just, lock in RB2 in the 12th, 13th round.
We do have Justin. Shouts to Justin. How are y'all feeling about Jacoby Myers as a depth buy?
I like pieces of that offense. We'll see if we potentially get, there's a couple outs of the Travis Hunter playing more defensive back, as well as what happens with BTJ this offseason. But I like pieces of the offense overall. I know you were talking about Myers versus Washington. We actually saw him go pretty close to back in this draft, right?
Yeah, I think it was 2 or 3 picks apart.
Yeah, you took 10-7.
Yes, 4. 906 was Washington and 910 was Myers. And the only reason I did that is the community is hyping up Washington, right? He's young. He put up amazing numbers at the end of the year. Everyone remembers. You look up, this is kind of like tinfoil hat dynasty. There is something to say when you open up Sleeper, you click on the player, and the latest news is something positive. There's something to say for that. And Parker Washington set for wide receiver 1 duties in Jacksonville.
Question mark? Let's go.
Right? Like that is the perfect time.
Wait, where is he?
Look, I'm selling you the wide receiver 1. Right? Like that's the thing that I picked him just because the narrative of Parker Washington is a much more fungible player than someone like Myers. I love Myers. I think Myers is someone that he's kind of for lack of a better comparison, he's like a Jared Goff as a wide receiver, right? Where it's like, he's going to be fine, right? If you have him, but no one is like, I need Jared Goff. Like Jared Goff's going to like blow up and be the next big dynasty, riser.
Mm-hmm.
People are believing in Parker Washington a ton, and that's why I took him. But if I had Myers, Myers is a perfect like buy because people aren't going to hype him up more than he already is. People just know, oh, he's Myers.
Yeah,
that's what he is. He's going to be fine.
All right, can I just like spit out a clickbait off-season content YouTube video idea?
Yeah, this is brainstorming session.
I'm gonna task myself.
Curtain.
All right, somebody said the brains. Dynasty Daddy, yes, Jeremy is the god. The brains of the operation. I'm putting all my brain cells together. What about? I think it'll have to wait until sleeper ADP is actually more fleshed out, like actual offseason startup ADP. And it's going to be tough with the rookies, obviously, as well. But maybe it's with rookies removed, looking at where ADP ranges kind of flesh out and the actual like best starting lineup based off of ranges, positionally, how you approach the draft. All right, this was a text to Jeremy that is being said out loud through my mouth. So we're gonna go full screen.
This is a voice memo.
David Njoku wants out of Cleveland. That picture was still up. I like the golf comparison. Yeah, what really inspired my blabbering that was happening there, Justin, was the golf comparison that Jeremy made, and just I think the perception of like hearing Jacoby Myers as a depth piece, thinking about the price you would pay for that receiver, and then thinking about the receivers that people pay up for in startups, pay up for with first round picks that fall in similar ranges with Jacoby Myers types. And I think that's something that is such a dynasty value discrepancy.
We'll have the players that are the Jared Goff like meter.
Yeah.
It's like no one can get excited about them. Sam Darnold's also that. It's like no matter what, Sam Darnold can win a goddamn Super Bowl, which he did, and he's still like, like, do I take him in the 9th or 10th round? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's like that whole 9th round, like these names, Jacoby Myers, Alec Pierce, Parker Washington, Wan'Dale Robinson. A lot of those receivers are scoring a lot more than Brian Thomas Jr., even at the 5'9", falling down the board. Even, Ted McMillan.
Marvin Harrison Jr. is 6'2".
Yeah.
I mean, 6'2".
And I think it's even less about the names. Obviously, it's about the ranges. But to me, it's about like the ranges within the ranges of like what you're foregoing. So when I was complaining about in this startup draft, when I was looking at this and I was like, man, I regret this T. Higgins pick here at the 5'4", when I look at like, I took QJ at the 11-4, but look at these, like all these receivers I passed over, like Cortland Sutton passed over. This DK, Jacoby, Alec Pierce, Parker Washington, Wan'Dale, all in the 9th round, passed over. Well, for Travis Hunter, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Dang. All right, we do have the
forecast card wants us to do a flock league, or I think it's like the
shout out to the flock
YouTube channel.
Some lore.
There's some lore.
I actually was a fantasy basketball flock creator. Alternate universe. I'm in that video, and
Fantasy
gosh,
flock, basketball.
and look where I landed. I could have been on the Flock YouTube channel. Oh, I'm on the stupid Dynasty Daddy. No, I'm just kidding. No, that would be interesting, because the tough thing about the Dynasty aspect of it is so much of like the enjoyment. You could definitely do a startup in an interesting way where it's all like Discord calls, and you're going back and forth and talking through like trading and moving around the board. That would be an interesting documentary. I think it almost would have to be more like that out of the startup. And then the like follow-up videos are longer form, like recaps of a full stretch of time versus like a week-to-week thing.
Yeah. I think too and like something that's impressive. I know the Flock crew, they put the pedal to the metal when it comes to making content. They're always, it's a week to week grind to do fantasy football. Right? Every week you got to do your start sit show. You got to do your risers, your fallers, whatever. And then, if anyone that makes especially general redraft fantasy football content, yeah, I respect that, because I try to do a video a week, and we did that for a little bit, and it's tough. It is tough, especially during the season, because the information constantly changes. So it's always tough to stay up to date on the impactful information that you need, and be able to also put it into a show. And on top of that, the Flock League is kind of like this little docu series look into over dramatized version of a fantasy football league, which is entertaining, but it's also a ton of work.
Yeah. No, that is anyone that's done any kind of YouTube work too, I think can like really, really see all that and goes into those. Those were cool to check out. All right. I have the live stream mask ready. Are you ready?
Yes.
Big.
Peace out, Sean. Thanks for stopping by.
Peace out. Peace out. Let me. All right. Big Diaz. This is a 14 by 11 best ball league. Full point 10 in premium. And also shout out to Jeremy. Guys, if you're not familiar, like this is a huge shout out, and I want to call this out because it's very helpful to me, like pulling this up on stream and sharing for you. But if you're clicking around your leagues and maybe you're in a ton of leagues and you're not super familiar, as soon as you click into it, obviously you can look at the actual starters on your screen, but the information has been added down here. 14 teams, start 11, 1 PPR, 1 full point 10 in premium, 5 point passing touchdown, and then the roster spots, which I think is pretty underrated. I mean, shout out to Scott Connor. Anytime I think about roster construction, I think about all the in-depth analysis and series he's put together, but roster spots and the roster by position. Hit the like. Thank you, Diaz. All right. Sorry, Diaz. I used part of your roster analysis to shout out Jeremy, but it's deserved.
I will say, I know people. It's always interesting to see what people enjoy, right? Like I could put a ton of work into something, and like some people don't enjoy it. And I'm like, oh, I already had this information, but if I put it in a cool chart, then everyone's like, yo, this is sick. Mm-hmm. So it's just I did want to, like, doing these shows. We would always be like, oh, what's the tight end premium? What's this? What's that? So it's nice to kind of clean it up. And I plan to add more and clean it up more. I got some announcements later in the week as well. So stay tuned in the Discord and on social media and all that.
Heck yeah. Jeremy is the man. Are we going to get a Dynasty Daddy live draft helper anytime soon? Dang.
I will say it kind of the mock draft tool will sync with your live drafts and will filter out the players that have been picked. So you can go in and choose Dynasty Daddy or KeepTradeCut or whatever ranking system you like, and see what the best players based on that are. You can also use the League Infused trade values if you're a part of the Dynasty Daddy Club Patreon, to have it filtered to your exact type of format. Yep. So we do have that. It can be clunky. It doesn't update live. That's something I may, if I am bored / motivated enough, I may look into doing that.
Do you know how long the wait time is be, and I just, this is, I mean, I don't know if you can pull this out the top of your head. I try not to put Jeremy on the spot on the stream, but I do it all the time.
I'm on the
But
spot. I'm on the spot.
just because I feel like it's, and maybe it's just because I'm not remembering clearly, but I was thinking last season heading into startup season, and I was able pretty closely to when picks were made. Like, I feel like it was only like a player or two that I noticed were not real time updated based off of the recent picks.
Yeah, it's based on like it's just based on when you load it, right? So like I don't constantly poll to say, okay, like let's check every 10 seconds or
but
something.
if you're re-accessing the page and you have that clicked, it should be accurate.
At the top of the bar, there's a little, when you log into your league, there'll be a little reload button. You can just click that and it'll resync your league. But I'm planning on probably trying to add something to where I can just reload, because the hard part is, and this is kind of like not to get too nerdy about it, the architecture of my site, I only load I load all the league's information at once. I'm like, let's load all the league. Mm-hmm. And now I have all the league information. I don't have it separated out for every single platform to load just draft information. And that's what I would have to do, is to just reload the draft, is to be like, okay, I reload the whole league, but also just reload the draft, and kind of provide two ways of doing it. So it's just something I would need to do, and the integrations can be a little bit tricky. Sleeper's the easiest, but some of them can be tedious to work with. Gotcha. So it's just one of those motivation things. It's like when I made the war tool, and I was like, do I want to try to comb through and figure out how to integrate bonuses on 200-yard passing receptions from 6 different fantasy platforms and try to make it into one consolidated, data object.
Yeah. And I mean, I cannot recommend this enough during mock draft. And I think too, or not mock drafts, but like actual drafts, especially if you're doing startups, like at this point, like just getting to see, even if it's just to check this in terms of, hey, we're through 9 rounds. Let me just see position wise what's all on the board. Like you can comb through the sleeper ADPs, but getting to see it like in draft board format too, especially if we've all got like home leagues that like we'll follow ADPs or rankings pretty closely. You get to get a good feel for ranges. It is very nice. All right, that is 2.
My favorite thing too is to use the tiers on the sidebar.
Yes,
I love that.
Yeah, you get to see the whole ranges.
That to me is like, it helps me visualize, should I trade up or trade down in a draft?
Yeah, rookie drafts too. It is like very helpful when you're looking at those ranges. All right, let's see if we can get 3 plugs. Who? Let's get one more question about the site that we can go through before we get to Diaz's live stream ask. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but we're just trying to get the big Diaz retention watch hours.
Casey, the draft did happen. If you want to take a look at the board, that the pinned link should take you here, and you can just take a look at all the picks overall. We will be doing a ton of off-season startup and rookie mock drafts, 100%. So stay tuned for more.
I think I will say, Will.
Yes.
That was beautiful. A beautiful pitch. I think she's asking about my home league draft trip though.
I thought I was being called the Trip King. Like that's my nickname.
Oh, Trip King.
When is the draft, Trip King?
Okay.
Sorry. All right, go ahead.
That's another humble genius, and also Will Trip King.
When is the draft, Trip King?
I don't know yet. I sent out the poll. It's always I have to I send out a poll to everyone in the league, and they all vote on weekends. And then I have to lock in a weekend, but we have 3 that are tied. So I have to kind of like be like, okay, who said yes and no? And like text them and be like, how serious is the no on this one? Is it like I prefer this other weekend, or is it no, I can't do this one?
All right. I'm prepared. And Diaz, you're about to get the greatest closing of the stream analysis right here. All right, here we go. Best ball, craziest startup auction ever. Entire league sold off to compete. I got carried away like Will. God, come on, man. This one draft. Fast forward. Dang. Drew C, which we do have the team here. Wait, I thought I had it. Here we go. the Rat
Yeah.
Shuck. There's a handful of picks. Drew C. posts he's trying to consolidate. I need to know what y'all think I should do here. Consolidating is, you get a little, your toes curl up. You get a little excited in a best ball 100%, 14 by 11. And you know what y'all think I should do here if there's something that should be done. Wide receiver is nerfed. RBs are a premium with start 3. Help a brother out. What do you want to take a look at? You want to take a look at the format tool?
Yeah, we can take a look at the war. Because this is one thing I know. Big Diaz always is playing. He's a part of the Destination Devi community that we're partnered with as well.
Yeah.
And they love to really tweak with different formats to play with the war. And this is definitely one of them that would impact that.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see how nerfed the wide receiver position is. Like, just if we just look at the running back wide receiver position, this line doesn't intersect until wide receiver running back 24.
Yeah. I mean, even
QBs
tight end, the value of a mid tight end is super valuable, and that's because you got that full point tight end premium.
Yeah, especially paired to the war is like pretty similar between what Juwan Johnson gave you last year and CD. Just how nerf that position
Somehow
is.
in a best ball league, Taysom Hill still on waivers. All I'm saying.
Did he say he was I don't know if there's been like an official start 2 tight end as well. I think I'm like 95% sure, but maybe a 5% surety should be rostered. All right. If looking to consolidate, I do have one offer, so you can take a look at this team, get your bearings. And this one, actually, I'm just going to click over to Discord real quick. Here's what he offered again. I don't know what tier running back in a league like this. You want to move maybe for Caleb in a third, not just for 2 picks like that if I'm contending. Yeah, especially in best ball too.
Wait, Taysom got shot?
Wait, what? All right, this is I don't go over to my phone very often during these streams while I'm sharing my screen.
Okay, I'm not seeing that. Unless if that's like a new thing that dropped on Twitter.
He is 35. Oh, wait, he got hurt in week 18?
Yeah, he did. I know he got hurt at the end of the year.
I knew there was some kind of I know the usage on the that was probably who's that one guy that kept trying to get us on the Micah Parsons?
Me there.
All the news.
He definitely got me there.
Taysom, I'm totally fine to get got on Taysom Hill being shot. All right, time to lock in.
It's such a funny why is he available? Oh, he got shot.
I need to go drop my Taysoms. All right. So yeah, it is kind of a weird. You're a contending team. You got Lamar, Bo Nix, best ball, Bucky Swift, Warren, Checo B. Rob. Pretty hurting at wide receiver, but it looks like you only have to start. Like if it's a ton of flex positions, you only have to start 2 receivers. It's not that bad to be hurting at receiver.
Wendell and Calvin Ridley.
Especially I think what we were
neutered scoring.
Yeah, neutered scoring, and especially when you accept to what we were just talking about, that it's already neutered, and it's like, yes, you could collect a huge stable of Wandale types, or you could just roll with enough receivers that are running routes where you're killing at the other positions. All right, Drew C, let me pull up that team. A lot of teams not filling out the wide receiver position like that. Okay. Consolidating, but probably through picks is what they're looking to do. And that one was 307 and 208 for Tajay Spears. The tough thing with that kind of move is, I mean, if you get what Spears gave you in the games he was active, I'm taking Spears like 9 times out of 10 in best ball on a league where I'm trying to score points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think the hard part too with best ball is like what's a 208 and a 307. are they going to be starters or going to be zeros? Realistically, they're probably zeros, and
There's
I'm
no
fine with
taxi or
a.
anything.
I'm more open to consolidating those later picks in a best ball league, especially when that's deep like this, than be like, let me just spend a bunch of my bench because it's deep,
Mhm.
but it's also not a ton. Like the roster sizes aren't ridiculously large. Um, so to me, I think that's a fine move to bolster running back. We know running back's way more impactful in this type of format. Um, the only concern I would have is, and again, these are 26 picks, so you have to you use them or lose them. Essentially, you
Yep.
have to make the pick. So I'm okay making that type of move. The hard part is you are limited draft capital wise going into next year, and especially with I wonder how many flex you got. Two flex spots, um, two flex and two tight ends. It makes me kind of want with the additional tight end premium is like, is there like cheap tight end options I could also go after, and try to bolster, right? Like Tajay Spears is a good cheap running back option that does have RB2 type of upside. Is there kind of a decent low, tight end that I can buy off of a team? That's kind of the main targets I would look at. So I don't mind the deal at all because it's something like you're gonna get stuck with. I don't even know, but you're gonna get stuck with like, you know, Chambliss or something. Probably not. You probably even get someone worse than that.
Mm.
You get some no-name running back that you hope is not a Hunter, and you hope he's Woody Marks.
Yeah. I think like there's a couple names I want to like point to. Like I get wanting to have Turpin, especially when you're kind of attacking the wide receiver position this way in a best ball league. But like the minute Pierce is looking like he's not having a job, like I'd much rather have. I mean Dulcich is kind of a funny name to say, but like the small chance that Dulcich is actually
Yeah.
a meaningful tight end for the Dolphins next year, and Waller isn't back. Especially in this format, that head. But if we're just looking at the consolidation, obviously, I think it's like when I read that and see this offer, that's what I'm assuming the consolidation they want it to look like.
Mm-hmm.
Diaz talked about potentially Caleb Johnson in a third for Spears versus just the two picks. Would you either be more interested in turning Spears into one pick? I don't know if you like that 203 range, just the upside and flexibility of hitting on a similar range. I don't know how great I feel about that. I mean, could you get a different kind of throw in? Like, would you do one of those picks and mix in, or I'm just trying to think about a player you can get back alongside that.
Or moving Taji.
Yeah. Just because that's what they came with. Or do you just kind of like having Tajay on this kind of stable of running backs when you're starting five,
Tajay.
potentially?
Yeah, I'm fine. Like just saying, I'm gonna roll with the running backs in tight ends. Like if I'm trying to do a position, like can I do a cross positional trade, pick up like Njoku in a third or something like that? Can I pick up, go after a team that's kind of bad that has a decent tight end that's not like super pricey?
Yeah. Are there any
I think that's probably your best option.
tear down from Knicks?
Tight ends look pretty consolidated. Maybe Dalton Schultz here.
Or would you look to
tear down from Knicks?
I'm very open to tearing down at the quarterback position, especially in best ball too, where like the hit at the other position, if you have like a 3-4 point discrepancy in the quarterback, can matter so much more when you have limited spots, right? If you think about a third tight end that is like consistently could hit your lineup versus whatever, like Bo Nix versus Bryce Young plus a tight end that is consistently hitting your lineup matters a lot more. So let's look at the weak QB teams. There's a Stafford Geno that is like insanely deep at receiver. How gross do we want to get quarterback wise?
I mean, he mentioned
like
Kyler
Goff.
in a pick, but I mean, if I'm going from Knicks to Kyler in a pick, that is probably Kyler in multiple picks, to be honest.
Yeah, the tough thing with the quarterback tier down is I do think
Like
you do have to kind of
Kyler
go.
in the 103. Like, is it that level?
I don't play in a lot of best ball leagues. I get a little spooked about not feeling confident I have 2 starting quarterbacks in Superflex best ball. I mean, Daniel Jones is a little plus bet. Drew cut the 103.
I mean, I think if it's just one pick, it would have to be like the 103 for me to even consider. And then it's like, is Drake May worth a QB 40 and 103? He's probably, or Bo Nix is probably worth more. Like, you probably should get an extra second or something.
Ty DeClaire. Does Ty DeClaire like Bo Nix? He probably
likes him more than JJ McCarthy.
He probably likes this tight end stable, though. I was thinking about the tier down to Cam Ward and then seeing if you could get one of these, access into one of these tight ends if you're going all the way down from Nix. Yeah. But I'm sure Ty's probably fine rolling with this, especially if he considers JJ to be a third quarterback.
I think the hard part too, like, we know wide receiver scoring is depressed in this type of league.
Right.
If you're getting like Tyler, Caleb Johnson, and the 103 or something, like that 103 is probably going to be, Makai Lemon tight. Like, you're probably like, okay, and maybe that's something you kind of want because you're rolling Cortland Sutton and Wade Dale Robinson. So you might be like, okay, yeah, I'm okay investing a little bit in that position, but I don't know if
not using a quarterback to do that. Kyler, I don't think.
I'm still just like, I think Kyler will be all right, but I don't. He's not locked in to start all year. He could have the Justin Fields outcome.
Yeah. I think the counter I would do off of this, just because I hate going through these and not feeling like I have like a firm thing I can give. Like, this team, I'm willing to seek out like tier down QB deals, but I feel like most teams know what you're doing if you're going in a certain range, right? Like, if you're going down to Dak, if you're going down to Jared Goff, like, that team knows what you're doing in a best ball league. Like, I think it has to be uncomfortable, and it has to be Bryce Young, Cam Ward, JJ, Kyler, like you're talking about.
This team has got Bryce Young, but they don't really have any relevant picks. But you could do something like Young, Jake Ferguson, plus something.
That's game.
Like, bolster that tight end room. Like, Young is not someone that will probably get benched this year. He probably has at least 1 year of actually giving it a shot.
Yeah.
Looking Stroud, see how low he feels on CJ Stroud.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, this is tough. I do think if you are looking, like, just realistically, if you're looking to make a tight end upgrade, attack the wide receiver position with 1 or 2 more names, I think it would require a Bo Nix or a Lamar tier down. Unless you think, like, is even the running backs, like, because I can start 6, especially in best ball, like, I kind of want to hold on to all these names that are getting touches for NFL teams, like, especially the Spears White names, like those guys that can have these random blow up weeks just because of the role they have. So I don't really want to use any of them cross positionally.
I want anyone that has a pulse, like, I want anyone that touches the ball.
Would a tier down?
I think someone like a Mac Jones could be an interesting move. Like, do you think moving Mac Jones for maybe it's like, okay, he's staying in San Francisco, I can move Mac Jones to more of a rebuilder, give me some sort of running back or tight end production that I can use, because like Mac Jones as a 0 on your roster for a significant part of the year might not be as desirable, I guess.
I mean, this is the kind of league
to have a couple zeros.
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of league that would at least value Mac and Daniel Jones the way they should be. Like, there's some leagues and managers where it's like Mac Jones actually has 0 value because he's not a starting quarterback in the league. Best ball's a little funky because I think some teams can kind of cross those names out of like their plans for the roster. But I think it's the kind of league where you could check on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think especially in a hyper competitive league like this, I think it would have to be a QB tier down. I wonder if
I feel like Hope Dreams thought players. All they have is
Fade
Willis.
Yeah.
And like their team, like they have a ton of picks,
105,
but they're not going to probably
106,
get Mendoza. Like they're not going to get top talent. They're probably going to end up taking, Ty Simpson or something. But
yeah,
they'll be like, oh, Mac Jones, and maybe I give up like Schultz in the 27 seconds or something.
Do you have an offer or a conversation around what the 26 picks would be? Because I actually don't hate, like, Mac Jones kind of is a 26 pick right now, especially if you're assuming the Niners keep him through this next year. Like, you can kind of treat him like a 26 pick. And if that 26 pick...
The only issue is he's a 26 pick that takes up a roster spot.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I mean, if you think... I think that's like the perfect kind of cash out conversation in best ball. Because I think those picks are going to be easier for you to turn into, it could be, straight replacing with a quarterback. And I bet you receivers are pretty easy to buy. So like for you to add a name or two to this receiver room is probably pretty easy with the pick you get from Mac Jones, even if it's like a third or whatever. Because that's the only tough thing is not having picks until 2028. You don't have much that you can, unless you're willing to do the tier downs and making that aggressive move without moving like a Mac Jones or Daniel Jones. It's going to be tough for you to have access to picks to add or, mid end of the season, make the moves, get the players from the VPAD teams that are hoarding the picks for next year. Holy cow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 27 firsts. I mean, this guy wants Mac Jones. He needs him. Look at this QB room. This guy needs Mac Jones.
I mean, he did say, I think a rebuilder would take Mac and Daniel Jones, but VPAD only wants to give me 26s. So, I mean, that's kind of the hard thing. But the thing is, you can kind of just wait. You can kind of just sit on your hands. And say, well, like if you have 1,026 picks, you're going to get stuck taking all these picks. I can just say, okay, well, like I want a 27 or 28. Like you just need the future flexibility.
Yeah, this is kind of a good draft in this league to be totally out on. Honestly, like missing out on Love is going to be tough, but a lot of the running back names, which are the hits you want to have, like okay, so there'll be some tight end hits, I'm sure, but I think the most exciting part about this class in like this top end of the first round, tail end of the first round, and through the second round is going to be some wide receiver names. And who cares, man? Who cares about Boston and KC Concepcion in this league,
Hey, NC State. He was at NC State. You gotta be nice.
Nah, bro, you're Parker Washington over Jacoby. You've lost your NC State fandom. We saw the startup draft.
Banging the drum on Travis Hunter.
All right, I think
I will say Big Diaz did post a few offers that he got sent from VPAD.
Are we leaking the DMs? All right, don't look. I
guess. Don't look.
I guess. I was kind of leaking my downloads folder. Hopefully there's nothing in there. All right, don't worry, guys.
That's the 2,000 sub specials. Will's download folder.
What did I say? I was trying to find it.
You mentioned it about something. You're like, oh, there's some weird stuff in my download folder.
I think it was. Oh man, the fact that I can't recollect. Is that the word? The fact that I can't recall what I was trying to say is actually like really bad. That's almost worse. All right. Here we go. All right, I'm not leaking the DMs. This is a VPAD trade. Incoming offer. Oh, wow. I don't want to do this. This is already a no for
Yeah.
me. All right, that's a no. Let's
Especially with like 2 late picks. Like Tyson, like just I know it's not great to scribble in a name a lot of times, but scribble in
Ooh.
Ty Simpson and Jonah Coleman
I
at
like this
27
try.
first for Knicks and McBride.
You sent this right, Diaz. This is a good try, Diaz. He was trying to get the Malik Willis 309,
Yeah, I like that one.
313 for Mac in the third. Would you have done? I would have done straight up for one of these thirds, but I could see you trying to. You get these people with a ton of picks, and they care about their picks less to like make the moves they want to move or make. So I get it. All right, here we go.
Just do like Willis in a third for Mac and a future third.
Yeah, I don't like this either. I don't like any of these. 28 first, the 113, the 201.
You're basically saying, hey, I'm going to, in 2028, I'm going to be the runner-up at worst in a 14-team league.
Unless you think, Diaz, that this 113 and 201 can like be combined to turn into a tight end and a running back that's going to start for you, I don't like this. Because if that's the case, I would just try with the first. Like if you're going to already do that. Yeah, that's a tough one. I will delete.
Let's hit this one.
So many
real
thirds
quick.
he wants to consolidate for sure.
Stever says trading a 26 108, 28 mid first, and Andrews for Bowers. Thoughts?
Wow, how low would the tight end premium have to be for you to not do this? Like a standard league, would you do this? No tight end premium at all, just a PPR league. I actually don't even think it's that bad. 108.
I think I would.
Unless it was.
What's the 108?
If it was like a 12.
That's Casey Concepcion.
If it was like a 12 by 12 or something, like something so deep that every year my first is like very impactful to being used to fill out a roster spot or what have you. I think I'm just easily doing this in all formats.
Yeah, I think you just take the Bowers.
Because I think you can get too sucked in on like how important tight end premium is when we look at these questions. But like if Bowers gives you the upside of, a top 15 wide receiver, you just take that every day of the week.
Well, too, and the thing is, tight end premium makes the elite ones better, but also makes a lot of the, tight end 3 through 8 also impactful.
Mm-hmm.
But even in a non-tight end premium league, if you have tight end 1 or tight end 2, you're cooking, right? If you had Travis Kelce all the years in a non-tight end premium league, you weren't like, man, I regret taking, Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
So I mean, Bowers is someone that has years and years and years left of being a high-end top 3 tight end. And the fact that really all you're giving is a 28, and you say mid, makes me think your team's probably at least competent.
Yeah.
Or whatever team that you're trading is competent, like going to be competitive. The 108, you're not going to really see much of interest in terms of it might stink to be like, I'm not taking the pick, I'm not getting Denzel Boston or whatever, but for that tier up of a round 1 startup pick, I'm doing that.
Yeah. For sure. I like that one. All right. Here we go. Let's just do I can zoom in on Discord. Let's just do I saw actually a little behind the scenes riddles. And I don't even know if you're in here. Riddles has not typed a message. But I did see that Riddles was typing in the live stream ask channel, and I wonder if it was this question. So I confirmed no tight end premium. Jaden Higgins and Harold Fannin or Brees in a 2027 third, no tight end premium, 10 team PPR. I'm assuming fairly shallow. 10 team PPR, no tight end premium at all. Would you take the Brees and the third? I think I probably am. I think Brees gives you a little bit more upside at difference making production, especially this free agent offseason.
And don't get me wrong, I enjoy Jaden
I love
Higgins.
Fannin.
And I think Fannin is special. But the positions that matter are Brees Hall. All right, having a difference making running back matters. Yeah. Higgins is probably going to be, he's my backup flex guy. going to be a frustrating. I start him when he does good. I bench him when he does bad things. Like, to me, you just take what Brees has and say, okay, I have a locked in. He's going to get some workload, and I can figure out the rest. Harold Fannon's good, but Kyle Pitts scored more fantasy points than Harold Fannin last year. So, like, that production you can really get anywhere. You can go trade for Goddard. You can go trade for Hunter Henry. You can go trade for Juwan Jennings. So Fanning wasn't a McBride level difference maker in a non-tight end premium league. And even in a tight end premium league, it's an expensive tight end when there's a lot of other cheaper options out there.
Yeah.
That I would much rather just say, give me the Brees side. That position's a lot harder to replace, and the value is more aligned with the actual production versus tight end.
Yeah. And we talk about it all the time. Like, I'm going to pull up just the player rankings sheet real quick. And in these leagues that are shallow too, like anytime you have to start, let me get rid of this. Anytime you have to start multiple running backs, like even in shallow leagues, like a 12x9, most of them still have 2 running back slots and a flex. Like that's still 3 running backs that can start versus tight end, where in a no tight end premium league, like 1 through 12, all the way down to, all right, you're like, yeah, Kittle's hurt, but it's like the guy starting Brenton Strange, or like waiting to see what happens with Isaiah Likely, or TJ Hawkinson, Mason Taylor, Dallas Goedert, Juwan Johnson down here. Like teams are fine in non-tight end premium. It isn't just about like the scoring too. Like it's just the positional value in its own right. Hey, thank you.
Was that a part of the live stream ask? Was that kind of the...
That was one that I kind of dragged into the live stream ask against forecast cards. Will honestly,
that was the one that he the messaged about.
I was gonna say like a little bit of a disrespectful risk for me because maybe there's a reason Riddles didn't want it on stream, but appreciate it. Hey, the $5 Canadian. Hey, we've got we're international. Let's go. Appreciate it. We fly high, no lie.
Appreciate it, Riddles.
You know this. Jeremy, say it.
Ballin'. No fly, no lie.
No, just the balling part. That was good though. Balling for sure. Missed another live stream. No, you didn't miss it. Right when we end, now. Replay it. 2x speed.
Got a question, Jake?
Oh, or that too. No, I'm just kidding. Are you how fast do you go on the YouTube videos? You get up to 2x?
I got up to like 1.8, and then I was like, you know what? This is probably not good. Like someone's like, you're riding a rain. And I'm like, okay,
yeah,
like you're probably right. So now I'm like, I'm back down to like 1.5, 1.25. I'm like, I need to speed it up, especially for long shit. Like it's nice, to see like a 40-minute video and be like, oh, I can just like power through this a lot faster. But it's especially when some people talk slow. There's some podcasts or something where people talk really fast, and it's like, okay, I can't keep up. But when people talk slow, I'm like, just speed it up. Like I just want to hear the conversation. I don't need to, have all the ums and pauses. You can kind of speed through. It's like the condensed football games where it's just go, 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 go. It's like 35 minutes.
Yeah, the toughest thing for me, and actually I see we can take a look at this, especially after the Canadian dollars were sent through YouTube. But I did just notice that Riddles also posted that specific trade in the live stream ask. So I'll pull that up and we could just confirm. But this is a good looking team. But the biggest thing for me that caused me to turn down, I was a 2x speeder and, consumed a ton of Dynasty content. Shout out to, Ray, Destination Devi, all those boys. But we had Ray on the show that one stream, and I was like, man, he is talking slow as hell right now. And it's just his normal speaking voice, not turned up to twice as fast. But all right. We got you here, Riddles. So this was the same trade. This was Fannin and Jaden Higgins, or Brees in the third.
So looking at the team. Oh, is he getting Fannin?
So you would be giving Fannin. And the only thing though,
Am I looking at the right team?
it's a 10 by 10. This is Riddle's TFC. So it's
Yeah, but he
Burrow,
has to get
Herbert.
Fannin.
No, he would be getting Fannin, giving up Brees and the third.
Oh, for some reason I was thinking I was thinking the
You just
Bowers
assume.
trade.
Oh, I thought I was just gonna say you just assume
Because we had the Bauer. Okay.
that anyone that posts in here is on
Bowers.
the winning side of the trade. That's going to be happening.
Well, they use my site, you know. You got to be savvy.
Yeah, non-tight end premium. Dalton Kincaid, AJ Barner, Gunnar Helm, even Colby Parkinson. Some weeks, like just roll with it. It is a 10 by 10, so there's some like conversation to be had about when it's super shallow. That position matters slightly more because blah blah blah. But I think at the price of the Brees Hall bat, when your running backs aren't like, if you can start 4, I don't want to give up one that could be, consistent RB1. It's a good team though.
I agree. It is solid. I mean, you're 4th in overall rank, 3rd in starter rank.
And I assume you can start these
exactly
receivers
where you want to be.
too. Like I assume it's not you're starting 4 running backs. Yeah, it's 2 flexes, 2 running backs. So you don't have to be starting Chuba. It can be, Devonta Smith with your Terry or whatever. So nice. Good looking team. All right. Any parting words? Jeremy, I want to reiterate, we're going to be hitting the content on the YouTube channel. Stay tuned and subscribed. We're going to be looking at some initial mock drafts and start looking at some of these rookies, some rookie mock drafts. Combine's coming up. Shout out to Big Diaz, posted all the dates that were coming up in the Charlie Daddy League. The offseason moves quicker than you think it does.
Copy and paste that.
Yeah.
No, it definitely does. I mean, especially like we just ended, right? You get a couple weeks, and all of a sudden, the combine hits, the drafts, this mock draft season, the draft starts happening, and before you know it, you're gonna be wishing you traded up. You traded up.
I mean, 16 days.
The top 5 picks.
16 days until the combine, and like right after that
is wild.
You get the franchise tags, the free agency tampering stuff where the news reports are coming out, everything that was happening before that period that people couldn't talk about. The free agency, it's here, man. Let's go. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Much love. Appreciate you. Subscribe if you're not already. And see you next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Wait, 9 p.m. Eastern. Much love. See ya. Peace.
See ya.
Out.